Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash, Vice President for Content Strategy at FedScoop, and we're here at the ACT-IACT Executive Leadership Conference in Williamsburg, and joining me in this session is Kathleen Turco, the CFO at the Veterans Health Administration. Kathleen, thanks for taking some time to be with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Appreciate it. So I know we've been talking a little bit about some of the themes at the Executive Leadership Conference have had to do with government challenges as we look to 2020 and so forth. And I guess, what are some of the challenges from your perspective as a CFO that you're seeing sort of in general for agencies and maybe more specifically at your agency?
Well, in general, I think that ACT-IACT did capture the theme in terms of innovation and where are we going to be in 2020. There's so much change and so much coming at us that we need to do in terms of delivering for the customer experience, in particular for our taxpayers, and of course for VA, for our veterans. So sort of specifically, of course, for Veterans Health, our challenge is around ensuring access to medical care for our 9 million veterans across the United States, and ensuring that we're a high-performing network, and also employee experience. That has become paramount as well. You know, a good employee is providing the right service and perspective and attitude in terms of serving our veterans.
What are some of the other priorities that you're working on or being tasked with as a CFO?
So, you know, the specific ones, of course, around the budget process, it's become rather challenging in terms of the budget arena because of the financial caps that are on us. So looking at prioritizing and reprioritizing with the new Undersecretary, David Shulkin, Dr. David Shulkin, and his prioritizations and strategies. He has 5 strategies that are driving Veterans Health Administration. We've been working with Greg Giddens in the Office of Acquisition, Logistics, and Construction to improve the supplier experience and how we go about buying what are billions of dollars every year in supplies for our hospitals, as well as working on our requirements, our business requirements, with the new Chief Information Officer and her team, and what we need for medical IT. So it's a lot to do. It's challenging, it's fun, and it's very purposeful in terms of our mission.
Well, I know you are responsible for many more things than IT. IT is still a fairly significant slice of the budget. Talk to me a little about what you see the impact of VITRA doing, and we've often heard from the CIO perspective, but I don't know that we always hear from the CFO's perspective. How are you seeing the additional hopeful transparency of investment shaping up at your end?
Well, I think VITRA is great, and having been at GSA, when we centralized our IT activity under the CIO there, and then moving over to VA, where the CIO has responsibility and the appropriated dollars for the IT investments, I think it is really, VITRA, I think, will shore up the CIO accountability and responsibility and relationship with the other senior executives. So we do need that singular focus on IT, informed by our business requirements, whether they're medical or the benefits or acquisition, et cetera. So I like the focus, and I like having what I would consider to be a equal or a CIO that's at the table and that takes it seriously. I think you really do have to have the money in the federal government. If you don't have money, you don't have the money. You're not, in terms of being a player at the table, it's a little more difficult. So I think it's going to make a difference, and it all really does come down to leadership in the end. And so I think that our secretary has brought in some great new leaders for VA to really carry this out. So as a CFO, I'm a big proponent. I know some are not, but a big proponent of VITRA. I think it's going to make a difference.
I'm curious, moving from GSA to the VA, what was maybe your biggest surprise there, or what are you trying to bring over
surprise. Well, I went from an agency that was about 12,000 people, to 350,000.
Yes.
So just the size alone was a bit daunting. I moved over because I really wanted the challenge of the mission, I don't want to say singular, but a focused mission. GSA, of course, was acquisition and buildings management, so sort of I don't say a back office mission, but a support mission. It is different in the sense of being on the front line and ensuring that our veterans are getting access to the system and the care that they have earned and deserve. And so it's just a little bit more, when you walk in the front door, ensuring support of that mission and what we do in financial management. And some people don't think that it's the same, I guess, but I do, and I try to reinforce that with the staff, that we are here for the veterans. And so what we do every day in making decisions needs to have a veteran focus and certainly a customer focus in terms of our clinicians and support staff.
Well, great. Well, lastly, as I know you're still fairly new over there, but you've, I'm just curious, as an executive, it has been 2 years,
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I guess, what projects are you kind of most excited about working on now, between now and, we know we're beginning to move towards the end of a administration, which kind of alters what you choose to do. How are you choosing those?
Well, I mean, I think within VHA, it really is the access and the high-performing network. We do have a requirement on us to submit a plan to Congress by November 1 to explore options for expanding or changing how we're delivering our care, whether that care is in a VA facility or what we're calling care in the community. So we have that. I think the whole issue of the supply chain is huge for us. We really do need to look at how we can get more efficient and effective in the supply chain and ensuring that we are getting the right supplies at the right time into the hospitals.
That's a big job.
It is, and it's a lot of money, couple of billion a year, and so if we can get that more efficient, that would help us to redirect funds towards what we're calling care in the community or external care, or putting them back into the hospitals. So there's a lot of prioritization, reprioritization, a lot of lean management that we're trying to do, and a lot of efficiency and effectiveness in our operations that is being driven from the top, and I think has a lot of staff excited that we can make a difference.
The scale's huge, so we wish you good luck with that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you being with us. I'm Wyatt Cash with FedScoop. For more of these stories, tune into fedscoop.com. Thanks for being with us.